Crude oil prices have risen from a COVID pandemic low of less than $20 per barrel to a 15-year high of over $120. The high fuel prices have pushed up the cost of living and doing businesses, with individuals and institutions struggling to pay for the record high fuel prices. Here's our reporter Nduta Mukami with the details.
Energy prices have been rising after crude oil stocks from Saudi Arabia stopped being exported. This, anchored on the back of the Russia-Ukraine war, has seen the cost of living significantly rise among countries in the world. Crude oil prices have been on the rise largely because both Saudi Arabia and Russia, which jointly account for 23% of the global production, have reduced their production. The 2020 Russia-Saudi Arabia crude oil price war resulted in a 65% decline in global oil prices at the beginning of the COVID-19 pandemic. In 2021, the record high energy prices were driven by a global surge in demand as the world recovered from the COVID-19 recession. Both are part of the OPEC Plus, which started cutting supplies of crude oil last year in order to drive up prices. In addition, concerns over crude oil supply bottlenecks following the Russia-Ukraine war have propagated the rise in energy prices. The 2022 annual average OPEC oil price stood at $100.08 per barrel. This is up from $69.89 recorded in the previous year. Figures increased sixfold between the summer of 2020 and the summer of 2022 as a result of an ongoing energy supply shortage that was exacerbated by the Russia-Ukraine war. However, as crude oil is most often traded in future contracts, this means traders make conclusions on how production output and consumer demand will likely develop over the coming months, leaving room for uncertainty. By now, I'm pretty sure you're asking yourself who controls global oil prices and what kind of influences do they have over pump prices in non-oil producing countries. Let's take a look. The Organization of the Petroleum Exporting Countries usually attempts to manage its member countries' oil production by setting crude oil production targets or quotas. The main factors determining OPEC's ability to influence oil prices include the extent to which OPEC members comply with production quotas, the ability or willingness of consumers to reduce petroleum consumption in response to higher product prices, the competitiveness of non-OPEC producers when oil prices change, and the efficiency of OPEC to supply oil compared with non-OPEC producers. All things being considered, energy prices are set to continue increasing in the coming months and even in the coming decades, and this will continue to have a direct impact on pump prices in the country, as my colleague Regina Manyara will inform you. Reporting for Prime Edition, my name is Nduta Mukami.